All right, time is 6:30. It's the October 12th Abington Conservation Commission meeting. First item on the agenda is SE 084-563. Notice of intent located at 0 Summer Street. Got an email today from Phil. They are continuing to our next meeting, which will be on 24th, right?
24.
Yeah, 24.
Anybody have any discussion before we vote to continue?
I'll make a motion to continue SE 084-563. Notice of intent. On
Rich
0 Summer
seconded.
Street.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Huh? Oh, Kathy, you're on?
Yes, I am.
Oh, nice to hear your voice again.
Nice to talk to you guys.
Welcome back. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, next up is complaint course of action for dependable tree. I know Tony's not here tonight. She's under the weather. So I don't know if she has any updates on that, or if Lynn or Jean, if you've heard anything as far as scheduling for the delineation.
No, I called Tony the other day, and we had told the applicants that they needed to contact us before October 10th. And so I contacted Tony and asked her, have you heard anything? And she said there was a wetlands scientist who contacted her and had some questions. So it sounds like they've hired someone, but I don't know anything else beyond that.
All right. So when Tony gets back, I think she's gonna be out till Tuesday. So, do you have a contact for dependable tree? Do you want to reach out to him? Or Alex, did you have one when you went
I
out
don't
there?
have a contact. I think
Tony's
it
the
went
only
to
one that has
Tony.
it.
Mhm.
No.
Okay.
All right. So we'll have to wait till Tony gets back on Tuesday then for that.
Sorry.
All right. Next up, complaint course of action update for Hanson Tree. So I reached out to Mr. Conley. They've hired J.P. Raymond out of Bellingham to do the delineation. Before they do the delineation, they want to clean up all the debris piles and stuff to make it easier for them to do the delineation.
Okay.
So I think that is being done. Within the next week, they're gonna get out there
Okay.
to do that, and the delineation will be done after that.
Good. Sounds good.
Next up, enforcement order 154 Brockton Ave, restoration and fencing.
I have some good news on that, Mr.
Good.
Chairman.
Good news is always good.
I was going down the street today and I heard some heavy machinery and I made the corner onto Brockton Ave and lo and behold, they were there working.
I pulled over immediately and I said, who's in charge? Because I didn't get a phone call, but I actually did. It went to my spam. Ken Thompson was there. They've removed the riprap. They have taken down the giant hill somewhat and regraded it so it's not so crazy. They've begun to pull out a lot of the invasive species. He has planted some of the low shrubs. Were planning on taking, where the parking area is, they were planning on taking it down another half a foot so that the retaining wall could be put in. The chain link fence will go in along the property where the house is, so no children will fall into the wetland restoration area, and the signs will be moved. He did say that along the bank of the stream area, he had used an herbicide. So I told him that any herbicides that he uses to destroy the invasive species has to be approved by the commission. That was in his order of conditions. So he texted me, he said he would stop using it until we got to find out exactly what it is he's using, discuss it and vote on it.
I mean, do we have to vote on it? I mean,
Well,
I
we
have,
can
I have,
vote
I
on-
have faith in, I don't want to hold them up from doing it because we're not going to meet for 2 weeks. So if you want to,
Well, we just want to make sure it's not like Lynn said, Roundup. I mean, that's.
no, but I'm comfortable with you saying okay.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
all right.
Instead of waiting 2 weeks for him to come back here, then we have to give him an approval.
Okay, well, I'll bounce off the chemical that he's using off of. you,
Dr. Mullen?
Dr.
And Kathy, maybe.
And Kathy, because I'm not familiar with herbicides that much. I mean, I do know some, but
stay away from Roundup. It's crazy. All right, so that was it. So they're gonna be there tomorrow to continue working, so it was good to see that done because we had approved his plan in May. And all summer, some of this stuff could have been done in advance so that all they had to do in the fall was just drop the plants in, but, so, looks like they have like 6 to 8 foot trees, maybe even some taller. And the evergreens for the privacy for the neighbor on Nile Street, those are just as tall.
What do they end up using for those?
I think they have arborvitaes.
The deer resistant arborvitaes?
I think so.
Okay.
But they were huge, so it was good to see. So I was very happy to
Nice.
see that. We can check one thing off our list.
We're getting there.
Yep.
Soon.
Well, in 2 years, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Planting.
All right, any more discussion on 154 Brockton Ave? Kathy, do you have anything? She's muted.
Nope, I got nothing on that, but I think Jean covered it pretty well.
Thank you.
All right, next up, enforcement order located at 95 Niles.
I recuse
I know you can't, you might have seen something over there, but you recused yourself for that. So that one we'll have to wait from Tony when she gets back to see if she has any updates. Next up, enforcement order, the restoration area at 0 Hancock Street. I'm recusing myself for this one.
Okay.
So Lynn?
Sure. So Jean and I went over to 0 Hancock Street last week,
Yes.
and we met with Nicole Hayes and looked over what had been done. And Area 1 looks good. There are some trees that she had planted as you're moving into Area 2 that were okay, but they weren't what we asked them to put in there. They were shorter than we had asked. But at this point, if she tries to get, she would need to, if we said, okay, change those out and put a 6 to 8 foot tree in, she'd have to move equipment in there to dig a hole big enough to do that. So we said, okay, just leave it as is. The channel, as you walk into the property, seemed to be nice. The one area that we were concerned about, where we felt there was a connection of the wetland,
That was Area 2.
Area 2, it looked like Mother Nature was trying to form the connection because
Yeah.
you could see big pond here, some wetland here, and the water's trickling right through there. So the suggestion that we made was to actually make a channel there, make it like 3 foot wide, and then just see what happens and go with what Mother Nature, I think, is trying to do in the
Let
first
nature take its
place.
course.
Yeah, exactly,
And she
literally.
will, she will
Absolutely.
reclaim, she
Yes.
will reclaim what was disturbed. So it was nice to see that the road that was cut through too has now decided to connect itself.
Yeah.
We're just gonna help it along. And she did send some pictures just recently, short video, and it really did look well, and the water was really, I mean, it was looking really good. Any of the plants that were in the lowest area near there, because you know it's gonna get wider and wider.
Right.
She's going to move them up to a higher ground, and the trees that had died between 1 and 2, she's gonna put them more towards, as you enter into the property, up on the high ground, and stagger them through the road area.
Yeah, because she has shrubs in the road area, and they've just been decimated by deer,
Yep.
or they're just not doing well for whatever reason. Some of them, as she explained, a deer will eat it, it tries to spring back, deer will eat it, and then eventually
Yeah.
it just gives up and
Gives up,
it
yeah.
dies. So we suggested for some of those areas to put the trees, and this time 6 to 8 foot tall trees.
Right.
So she thought that was fine. The other thing was there was still piles of
Oh,
debris
A lot of pile of
there.
stuff.
So we asked her to remove that. There was, the pipe?
There was the
There was like
pipe.
trash bags too from what the picture I showed.
Yes, right where that PVC pipe was that Tim had found.
Yeah, I just saw that.
There's mounds of dirt pushed like up against the side of a tree, and then further up, there's like, it looks like piles of trash bags, and there was even a Christmas tree in there. And so, it's like.
Deer food.
Right.
They don't eat Christmas trees, though. Goats do, though. That's all right. But anyway, and then the silt socks,
Yeah, they were still there.
they were still piled up in there, and it's just, you want to really kind of like just get that stuff out of there. But she was, I mean, She was very agreeable.
Yeah, she was open to suggestions.
When's this work supposed to be completed? Oh, did we set a date?
We set a date at the last meeting for the 20th. She had been saying, well, I don't know.
The
if I can-"
24th,
The 20th. We
Yeah.
said, you know.
20th of this month.
Right.
That she had to get it done by the 20th.
Alright.
That's what we voted on, and I explained to her that was a hard deadline, and I think she wanted me to say it was okay to not do it, and I explained to her, I cannot unilaterally change something that we voted on,
Mm.
and it needs to be done. So, she said she would inform Mr. Haviland and see what she could do, but I think she was able to get the work done, at least so far the channel has been done. I don't know about the plantings at this point.
I don't know, because, I mean, being so close to the end of the season, we're not sure what she can get for stock that's available. But perhaps, she said she thinks that she can, so,
I'm
Yeah.
sure she's good.
And God knows the weather's been like this, so.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
There she is. Hello, Miss Nicole.
Hi, how are you?
Very
Good,
good,
how are
thank
you?
you.
I didn't think you'd come.
Nope, I'm here.
Do you have an update for us as to what?
Sure. Yep. Hello. For the record, my name is Nicole Hayes with Goddard Consulting. Yeah, so I did put the trench in. It looks really good. It was flowing really good. I contacted the nurseries about the larger oak trees that you were requesting. There is availability. I checked with the landscapers because we're gonna need the machine to dig those big trees in the roadway. And he can make it the week of the 23rd. So it's not gonna be exactly before the 20th. But we have secured the trees. And we're planning on, we didn't figure out how many trees. I was thinking 8 pin oaks. They have native pin oaks available at 6 to 8 feet in height. So I was gonna get 8 of those and have the landscaper meet me on site to put those in. And also have him start to remove all those piles. I'm pretty sure it'll take more than one day for him to remove those piles, but he knows he needs to do that. So that's the update so far. Last week I sent a whole bunch of slideshow on the progression of each of the wetland areas. As you were talking before, wetland area 1 looks really good. It's about 95% covered with native species. Area 2 is doing better now with the trench. It also has wetland soils, and the high bush blueberry are doing well. I also put down a little bit more seed when I was out there digging the trench to help wetland area 2 come along a little more. So that's the update on that.
Are you thinking about moving those high bush blueberries? Because we were talking about, I mean, they looked really good where they were. They seemed to be
Yep.
happy, but we were worried about the channel eventually making it too
No, I
rocky.
think, no, the way the channel worked out, it worked out beautifully. I moved a few of the shrubs that were in that area, but other than that, I think the other ones will be just fine. They're far enough away from the trench that they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds
And the width on it was hard to see, but I love the video because you could see the water really flowing. So, and it was hard to tell if it was really 3 foot wide, but I'm sure it must be at least, and we'll see that when we go out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep,
So they come in on the 23rd. Now we gotta set another date on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The video was awesome. I love seeing the water. I like the fact that you have 6 to 8 foot tall pin oaks,
yep.
and they'll be staggered in that upland closer to the entrance, and they'll be zigzagged in or something.
Yeah, we're talking about putting those pin oaks in the roadway area near the beginning. Yes, yep.
So, I mean, in the roadway, you're just gonna kind of like stagger them, so like not in a straight row, so it's just kind
Yes.
of like looks a little
Yes.
more natural. Excellent.
And
Thank
then, so one of the things also that happened is apparently there are all those no trespassing signs and people were ripping them down. And we had talked about putting up different signs, like something like wetland restoration in process, no access per Abington Conservation Commission, just to make it clear to a passerby, hopefully have a little bit more respect for something. How are we doing with those signs?
Well, I've told, Mr. Haviland about that. He's gonna have to have them made, or he's gonna have to make them himself. We don't make signs as a consulting. I don't, but I can, maybe try to find a company that does, but yeah, we're working on that, the signage.
Okay. All right, good.
Thank you.
Thanks. And then we were thinking about having another site visit with you, but I think we should wait until,
I think we should wait until after the 23rd.
I agree.
Yes, I agree. Why don't we wait until the trees are in? So that way we can do it all at one time.
Yeah. So it's the week of the 23rd or the 23rd?
I'm thinking it's the week of the 23rd. Of course, he's got other commitments right now, and that's when he can fit it in. And I have to get I needed to know the number of pin oaks before I ordered them and had them delivered, so.
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Rich was just saying the week of the 23rd, that's like the day before our next meeting, so perhaps maybe the following Friday, November 3rd, to go out and view.
Yeah, you can do that.
I can't, no, I'll be away.
Yeah,
Does that work for you, Nicole?
You're on mute.
We can't hear you. You're on mute.
there we go. Yep, so November 3rd is fine. Sorry, I don't know how that happened, but
Okay, so noon time, say, because I mean, it shouldn't be a big visit other than to go in and observe everything that's been done.
right, yep, that's fine. Noon on November 3rd is fine.
That's Friday.
Yep.
I'll try to make it out there.
Excellent, thank you,
I'll try.
Alex.
Good. Okay.
See, make sure I.
I won't be available, unfortunately.
I'm going on vacation.
I will be out of the country.
Oh,
Oh.
look at you, where you going?
Wow.
Aruba.
Aruba. Okay.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. So I think, do we have to have a vote?
To extend it to
Extend
the planting to the week of October 23rd. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to,
All right, let's ask Kathy.
sorry.
Do you have
Kathy.
any comments?
No, I think it sounds like we are making a lot of progress out there. I'm pleased to hear it. Just that's all.
Okay. So I guess bring it back to the board. Anything else we want to say?
Hmm.
We're all good.
I
Okay.
think we're good. I think we covered everything. So I would make a motion to extend the planting to the week of October 23rd for 0 Hancock Street, and to have a site visit on November 3rd at noon to Yeah.
Review the upgrades.
view the upgrades. Thank you.
Second.
Okay. All right. So all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Night.
All right, next up is discussion on the letter received from DEP regarding 267 North Quincy Street. We touched on this at the last meeting. I don't know if everybody got a chance to review Lynn's timeline of events up there and see how we're gonna proceed.
I'll give Jean my copy. I know I sent to Al. I don't know if Alex and Rich, you have a copy. Do you guys want to take a look at this?
I'll take a peek. I believe you sent that.
I
Yeah.
think I printed it.
I
just
sent it,
can't
but
find it.
everybody might not have a copy.
Might have missed my email.
And Kathy, you have the copy? of the timeline of events for 267?
Yeah, I have the timeline.
Okay,
It's, thank you.
I saw that. You sent that to me like 2 weeks ago or something,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
I read that, yeah. You said the thing was like vague or something. Is that the one you were talking?
Yeah, the one.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And so Tony's reached out to the property owner, sent a certified letter on Thursday last week, and we haven't heard anything back yet. But she's been out for the past couple days, so there might be something in her office.
Okay.
So does anybody have any questions on the timeline, or do you want to kind of go through where we're at? Because I know this whole thing started back in April as part of the ANRAD discussion for the abutters property, and Andrew, that was when he was looking at Mass Mapper or whatever, but he said that it appears that roughly an acre of wetlands have been destroyed on this property, 267 Brockton Ave. North Quincy Street. And it seems like there's been a lot of work that's taken place up there, especially if you read Lynn's timeline. And Rich, I'm sure you've been up there, right?
I am intimately familiar with this project.
Not for conservation reasons.
Not for conservation reasons, no.
So it seems like, just from reading Lynn's timeline, it seems like the property owner is under the assumption that DEP is one entity, and that realistically there are several different divisions of DEP. And the one that he's been dealing with was more for like hazardous material and stuff like that. It had nothing to do with wetlands or the Wetland Protection Act. I think that's pretty much the biggest, well, that's probably what started the whole issue, is thinking that he got approval from one section of DEP and not from the other, thinking that he could do whatever he wanted out there, and now we're possibly missing an acre of wetlands.
Right. Although it's interesting because back in, right where he got the property and wanted to do work, he did file an NOI.
Mm-hmm.
There was one file back in 2008 that the Conservation Commission granted to him.
Was that the one for like a building or garage or something?
It was the construction of a warehouse, storage area,
Yeah.
office area, and parking spaces. And so the Conservation Commission approved that. They did not file the order of conditions with the Registry of Deeds. So the only thing I could find is a copy of the order of conditions in our file.
Did they ever get a COC for it, or no?
No.
So we don't know if the
There's
work ever
nothing.
took place.
They've been made aware several times. I mean, they clearly were aware at some point early on that they need to file NOIs with us,
Mhm.
right? Because they did it early on.
Yep.
And then back in 2011, when there was they were the zoning board of appeals gave them approval for a asphalt, brick, concrete, and clean wood recycling facility. And this is where I think there's some confusion, because there's a response from DEP, but it has to do with site waste rather than wetlands. So there's no wetlands associated thing with whatever this project was approved by zoning in 2011. And then fast forward to 2013, zoning gave approval for them to build a home behind an existing home, but there's no information, there's nothing from our files whatsoever, and I can't find anything in the Registry of Deeds, nothing. And then later that year, there was that fire that went into Ames Knoll. And so there was an entire, conversation. They had to come before the Conservation Commission. They were told that wetlands were present on the property at that point in time. There was an enforcement order that was given to take steps to reduce the risk of future fires, because they had a stumps pile, I guess that's were you around when that happened? So you know much more than me about,
I
about
think
that.
a lot of what's on your timeline is very accurate,
okay,
and I think before we do anything, we should get permission to walk the property,
right,
and you can see exactly the condition of what we're looking at.
okay,
Mm.
all right.
Because DEP will definitely need to be further involved, and, yeah, that's all I'm willing to comment about right now.
Right, so we'll have to get solid waste in, but that's
Well,
outside
that's
of our
it, yeah.
purview. We just have to get the, wetlands division. So they were given an enforcement order, just going through this, it's
I
been
see
several
the
months.
yeah.
They mentioned, so whoever it was, the manager of this, one of the corporations there, he mentioned there that he was in possession of an ABC permit from DEP. But the chair of the commission clarified with them at that point in time that the permit was for solids and not for wetlands. So at that point in time, they should have known that you don't have anything associated with wetlands and there's two separate things. They were told that directly. And, let's see,
Oh, they should have known before that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get those permits, you know what those permits are for.
right. They ratified the enforcement order at that meeting, but I can't find the enforcement order. And I went through all the meeting, minutes since 2013, and there's no mention of the enforcement order again. So I don't know whether that means it's still in effect, or if there's an expiration date.
And there's not a copy in the file?
But there's mention of it in the agenda. There was an email that was sent from SciTech, who did an environmental report, and I'm assuming it has to do with solid wastes. And they had asked for information about the resolution of that enforcement order, but that's the only thing that's in the file. After that, there's nothing about that enforcement order. So then Tina Davies, less than a year later, about 6 months later, she's from DEP. She no longer works there, unfortunately, but she had sent a letter to the property owner and to us as a commission just to say, you know, we've noticed that you've had 20,000 square feet of wetlands modified, and to send pictures, to, you know, send the NOIs and all of that stuff. But there's no follow-up in the file. No idea if there was a response. I called Andrew and asked about, you know, is this something that we can talk to her? And he said she's retired, long retired, and I guess when you're retired, your email just goes away and everything with it,
Oh, boy.
which, you know, that's normal, right?
Wouldn't they have a file on the property?
Yeah, I
With
mean,
any
it
correspondence?
seems like we have files on NOIs that go way back.
You would
in
hope
it.
they would, yeah.
Yeah, but,
I asked him, he said he was gonna look into it, hasn't gotten back to me about that. And then, let's see, 2 months later, Sergeant Page from the police department reported fillings of wetlands, to the Board of Health, and Mike Noonan was asked to follow up. He did, but he felt it was more of a noise complaint, and that the residents need to contact, either the Board of Health or the Board of Selectmen about the issues. And he mentioned that in the email, that the company is monitored and inspected by DEP on a regular basis.
So he went out, we got a complaint, or Conservation at the time got a complaint saying that wetlands were being filled in, and he went out there and said he didn't think wetlands were being filled in?
No, he said,
he thought it was a noise complaint?
in the email, he said, he spoke with Sergeant Page and felt that the complaint was made by the residents.
Oh, okay. The resident was saying that wetlands get filled in
Gables.
to get people out there, okay.
Maybe. He said,
But you've got three people that don't know anything about the wetlands saying, okay, it's just moving dirt, and
Yeah.
you're just being mad because you're using a machine.
Right.
You know, as opposed to actually having the wetlands delineated out in that area.
right.
Right,
He said that this is a typical situation where the Gables do not want the company grinding and crushing asphalt. And then, yeah, so but it wasn't clear to me when he said, that they're monitored and inspected by DEP on a regular basis, whether he understood that that was a site visit and not having to deal with wetlands.
I believe that was probably a site visit from other complaints ongoing from the town side that wasn't privy to this commission.
Okay, like more of the solid waste, chemical fire, stuff
Yeah.
like that, okay.
Maybe he just lumped it together thinking DEP is DEP. Yep, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
And then, let's see, was it the same month? No, 2 months later, there was another complaint
Oh,
to the police, that wetlands were being filled on the property. And so Mike Noonan went to the site and he went with the owner this time.
Mm.
And he sent in an email that no wetlands were filled in. The owner had planted pussy willows, and the owner would supply Mike with the contact name and number from DEP. But there's no information in the file with that, and I can't find anything, no NOI, nothing having to do with anything of this. There's one thing that happened, fast forward 5 years to 2019, I did find in an agenda a mention of a withdrawal of an RDA from that site, but I can't find that in the file. And then I think it was a typo, and they meant 201 North Quincy Street. But I wanted to put that in there for
Okay.
clarity in case somebody decides to follow up on, let's see what Lynn did and
Mm.
notices you missed this from 2019.
Yeah.
So that was my, because it mentions 267 North Quincy Street, Lot 3B, but there's no Lot 3B there. There's a Lot 3B with 201
Ah,
North Quincy. That's my guess.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's why I wrote it's possible it's a typo. And then 2 years later, the incident at the site that led to the death of a worker.
Mm.
We had, lots of attention to that. You probably
Mhm.
went there.
Mhm.
Alex Bezanson had been a chair way back, and he toured it, and he told Abington News the site had extensive wetlands damage. And so he was on the board when they approved that NOI, so he would know if there were wetlands there. And then Mike Noonan toured the site, 5 days later after the accident. And then he said that he contacted Mike Whiteside from DEP, who had also attended the site walk. Were you there? Because I know there was a big site walk.
I was not at the site, at that
Okay.
site walk, no.
Okay. He said that Victor Semino was gonna be in touch with an engineer and botanist to flag the wetlands and file an RDA, to figure out how far they can park within the wetlands. He said there were not many wetlands there, and the violations were more in regards to the fire and health department codes. We will be the easiest board to get done. I was just writing down, what he said, and so it's not gonna be perfect English. And so I checked to see who Mike Whiteside was, so I thought maybe he's somebody at DEP, so I called Andrew, and he said he works in the Bureau of Waste Site Cleanup.
Mike Whiteside?
Mike Whiteside, who is also now retired.
Okay. So, in 2021, I came in at the very end of 2021,
Yeah.
October. But I don't remember anybody filing.
I don't remember anything.
You were,
You were on,
I
yeah.
don't remember
Nothing.
any
He
of
wasn't
it.
on it, or you didn't, you
Yeah.
were on
I
the
was new to the
or-
board.
yeah,
Yeah,
we knew, wow.
because I
So-
think it was like just a side, a part of a meeting, there was no more than a
Mm.
5-minute discussion
Mm.
about it, and then clearly he didn't get back to us with the
Yeah,
flagging the wetlands like he told Mike Noonan he would.
okay. So obviously, the owner is aware that he was supposed to do this. It's been mentioned a couple of times in this timeline.
Yeah.
Wetland flagging, so, if there's no response to the certified letter, the second one,
You gotta go the legal route.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead, but I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I mean, I don't.
So
I
if
mean-
there's no response to the second,
Well, there
this
might
is-
be, I don't know, Tony's been out
We don't-
since
yeah.
Tuesday, so.
but if there isn't, we have to go that route.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
But, I'm sorry, in 2023, you said that DEP contact, oh, yeah,
That was
so Andrew,
back in
yeah,
April.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay,
Andrew was
March.
looking at Mass Mapper and he contacted me and Paul and when he first contacted me, he said, look at Mass Mapper, and he was showing me, here's where there's an acre of wetland that appeared to have been filled in. And then as he was talking to me, he goes, wait a minute, oh, there's more. So there was a separate section on the same property that was also filled in. So that brings it to an acre and a half
Wow.
of fill. He also reminded me that they would not automatically take over the case, that their policy is that the Conservation Commission are the people who have to do all the legwork. We, for example, can't say, oh, you know, the property owner won't let us on the site. They would say, go get a warrant.
Hmm.
And we only can contact them if we have exhausted all remedies and all things that we can do. And we also would then have to make a written formal request to DEP to do that. So, you know, it can be very tempting to think, let's just give this to the state because it's a
So-
big thing, but
It is big.
he made it very clear, by the way, you can't do that. And I went, oh, okay.
But what does that mean? So if we have to go to court,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to basically empty our budget to get on the property or to do whatever, and then, once we have no money left, we have to say, okay, DEP, here you go. Now we have no money for anything else the rest of the year?
I think if you get a warrant, it doesn't involve any money.
Yeah, but
You don't think you have to get lawyers involved?
I don't believe so. You know, I think it's a matter, there is some paperwork for it that you have to submit, but I mean, it doesn't, I don't believe, I mean, town council shouldn't have a big problem submitting it and getting a warrant onto a property. It usually takes, I'm just going by what my husband deals with, but he said it could take maybe 4 days to a week to get on there, once the court approves it.
yeah, but how long does it take for the court to approve something?
4 days to a week.
To
It's
get-
a warrant just to get on, it's not like going before them for
Yeah.
a case or anything, they just sign warrants every day.
Mm.
They just look at the backup and see how many times we've attempted to approach them, and, I mean, that's my understanding, I don't know for a fact.
Given the history of this property,
This could get
Yeah.
dangerous.
town council, I'm 99.9% sure is well aware of this property.
Mhm.
And I would be willing to bet that there's not a response to the second notification that we've sent. So
Okay.
I would make a motion that we forward this right off to the Board of Selectmen and speak with town council about it.
Mm. It's
Yeah,
been going on quite a while.
Yeah, how long, yeah, that's been.
Yeah,
a
we
long
should get it,
time.
everybody with any sort of control or any power should be involved with what we're doing.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we have to vote on the stuff, and we're the ones, if there are issues, we're gonna have to do the enforcement order, but any help we can have getting onto the property and getting, DEP's complaints resolved, and yeah, we should
Mhm.
have them involved, anybody involved.
You know, if they're not gonna comply as well,
Yeah.
we do have the remedy of fining.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you start $50 and then can go up to $300 a day.
Yep.
Which may, to some people, not be very much money.
Mm.
But if we still have a problem, then town council can take them to court and they can charge them $20,000 a day. If a judge says, yes, you know, that's the limit, but you can go up to that amount.
And given the history of what you've said over the course of being a firefighter and being on that property several times, obviously this is gonna be,
From what I know, the property owner is usually difficult to deal with. So, and like I said, I know town council is very aware of this property, and I would just fast track it to them and keep our ducks in a row to keep us safe
Mhm.
and go about this in the right way, because the only thing that
Right.
seems to get any sort of response is through
Right.
town council, so.
Yeah.
Right, and we've covered our bases as far as documenting how many times we've tried to reach out and have been ignored, so it's not like you can't say he wasn't told or asked.
Right.
So,
I think, we should wait until we speak to town council, board of selectmen, to find them and see what.
Well, yeah, we're not at that stage yet.
Yeah,
But we can't not do it.
yeah, but I
'Cause
think we need to
DEP
go,
is waiting for a response.
Yeah,
we need to go through
What's-
town council
so-
and the board of
what
selectmen
was the
first.
date on Andrew's letter?
Oh, it was way back. It was
Beginning
like
of April,
May
right?
or April.
So, I mean, we've been
Yeah.
holding.
Kathy, do you
this-
have anything to add to this?
You muted. She might have stepped away. I don't know.
Well,
Kathy.
She fell off the cliff.
She could have went to go get a cup of tea.
well, I mean, yeah, so I mean, we'll,
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, you didn't hear me. I think that we should actually have town council at our next meeting and really have a good conversation with them rather than, writing back and forth. I think we probably need to have a good conversation with them in person to get some of this ironed out, but definitely, this issue's been going on since 2014 when Tina Davis from DEP saw the 20,000 square feet of fill. So it's been going on a long time. They know they've needed to deal with it and haven't. So I just think that we need some help and we need some guns behind us because they're just going to keep ignoring us as a board until we have something behind us to make them do the enforcement.
Now, if we bring, town council into it, is that like an executive session that we go into or no? That'd be public.
It's
no.
because I know they do executive session when you're talking about a lawsuit, like strategies and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But
We're
Yeah.
not there yet.
Yeah, that might be what we have to do, I think, but we should ask them whether we can do it in public or whether we have to do it in executive session. But I just think we need to talk to town council.
So when, I'm guessing when Tony gets back, right, we'll have her reach out.
Yeah,
How we do it.
Well, hopefully, I mean, she'll be back soon. If not, is there anybody else we can reach out to?
well, she's out of the office. I'm sure if she's gotta send an email to town council, she can do that.
Oh, all right. I didn't know if, okay, yeah. Okay. All right then, who wants to make the motion, I guess? Mr. Chairman, you
What?
brought it up,
What?
that we go the next route.
Well, I don't think we need to make a motion. I mean, we'll just reach out to town council and just keep this on the agenda.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other discussion on 267?
No.
All right, next up,
Should we move it to our next meeting, just so it's on the agenda?
yeah. So I want to make a motion to continue to October
I'll
24th?
make a motion to continue, 267 North Quincy Street to the next meeting, October 24th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up, permits and site visits. I did a permit week and a half ago for 154 Bedford Street. There were no wetland issues over there. Site visits, I think we covered them all, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Driving up to the meeting today, I noticed, somebody's doing some sidewalk restoration over on Washington Street.
Yeah.
I didn't see any catch basin bags in any of the catch basins, so I'll reach out to DPW tomorrow to see if they know anything about it. Meeting minutes, I think we just have May 23rd.
I noticed.
I noticed one thing on the RDA for 95 Niles. It says, have Mr. Thompson have a plan made. I think Tony meant planting instead of planning, so just
Yeah.
change that to planting.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's all I had.
Okay. Town council is spelled wrong.
Yeah.
That was all I had for that one.
That's it. Somebody wanna make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the May 23rd, 2023 meeting.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence, Tony's not here. I don't know if there's anything in there. I'm not gonna mess up her files, so we'll wait till the next meeting. Anybody have anything else before we adjourn?
I got something else. So I'll be here the next couple meetings, but I'll be missing a bunch of consecutive meetings, as I go to the fire academy coming up, so
Good for you,
So-
Alex.
I'll be here for a couple, but then I'll be gone for a while.
Okay,
But I'll be back.
Awesome. We'll miss you.
excellent.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
well deserved.
All right, somebody wanna make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.